Time for another Energy FC Weekly Update. I'm Dave Morris here in the Oklahoma's Video Studios alongside Energy FC head coach Jimmy Nielsen. Jimmy, good to see you.
You too.
Coach, we're going to try something new this week. No Isabella in studio. Your daughter has graced us over there on the couch throughout the summer for these, and we certainly welcomed her, but she's back in school.
Back in school, you know, how we're bleeding going in here. She wasn't in my corner here, but we have Josh here.
Josh Evans, always welcome him and his help providing us stats and highlights. Good to see him. And Jimmy, Coach, this week we're going to talk about something we haven't talked about in a few weeks, a loss.
Yeah.
You guys had been undefeated, I believe, for the past 5 matches before this last Saturday at Tulsa.
Unfortunately, yes. It was a close game. It was a good, intense game that could have gone either way. You know, I'm not saying Tulsa didn't deserve to win, but we certainly had our chances to win the game. We had the chances to minimum tie the game. But unfortunately that night, it didn't go our way. You know, we had a few, we had 2 goals called back from offsides. We had a little bit.
Were they offsides? Was the flag legit? Maybe?
I think one of them, he was a little bit too quick with the flag, but it happens. You know, it happens the other way too.
Sure.
But unfortunately on the night, we didn't have that lock, and we're not sharp enough in the final decisions. You know, we missed a few big chances. Tulsa scored a good goal. We gave up a soft goal. Unfortunately, it wasn't our night. In a night where I thought we played okay.
You felt all right about the team's
I
performance?
was pleased with the last 70 minutes. The first 20 minutes were. I had a feeling, you know, we're not giving Tulsa the respect they deserve. The last 2 years, they have been really struggling with getting the results. So, you know, we needed that wake-up call, down 1-0, and we woke up, and I thought the last 70 minutes, we played with them, and we, as I said before, we created enough chances to minimum get a tie, and with a little bit of luck as well, we could have won that game.
Turns out it's a 2-1 win for Tulsa. Jose Angulo with another goal, though.
Yes, Baril created a good opportunity out and got taken down for PK, and he pinged it in, and we're back in the game 1-1. And unfortunately, a few minutes later, 10-15 minutes later to be more specific, they scored 2-1, and I think after that we had 2 or 3 good chances to tie up the game. But as I said before, unfortunately that was not our night.
And as you mentioned, Josh Evans is with us. He mentioned beforehand you guys have scored in 11 straight USL matches. I believe your record is 14 and 15 of the last 17, so at least you have some offense consistently happening every match.
We do. You know, what we want to try to accomplish is a very good defense and a very good attack combined. You know, if we score 3 goals but we let in 4 goals, you know, it's a struggle. We're working day in and day out to have all of those things go hand in hand. And when it happens, you know, it's a proud moment. You know, we had a few of those year, I think, against Salt Lake City before the Tulsa game. That was one of those games where everything went hand in hand, defensively and offensively, and that's often something we're trying to accomplish. And they gave us a big boost. And I think going into the Tulsa game, again, we created enough chances, but unfortunately gave up. They scored a good goal. I'll give them that, but. You know, there's always something you could have changed on the way. And players will always make mistakes. If you don't make any mistakes, you'll probably see all soccer game end up 0-0. It's a part of the game, but we need to limit those mistakes, especially around our own box.
Is that some of the things you're working on this week? Your next match is this Saturday against San Antonio here in Oklahoma City at Taft Stadium, 7:30 kick.
Well, I think on Saturday when we play San Antonio, it's 2 teams with very similar strength. It's 2 good teams up against each other. In the past, we had some very intense battles with, I think we played them 5 times over the last 2 years, tied 4, and we won 1. But that has been games, again, that could go either way, you know, very close. This game here, coming Saturday, it's important we have a good balance in the team. We're sharp in the 2 boxes, and obviously execute when we get the chances.
Let me ask you about this. At this point, you're 8th in the standings. San Antonio coming up this weekend, the number 2 in the standings, I believe, USL standings. Pretty happy with how things are kind of rounding into shape for you this part of the season?
Yeah, I think we're finding the form. Not happy where we are in the standings. we obviously have high expectation going into this season, but I also got to admit, with so many changes we made, it takes time. You know,
a lot of roster changes and a lot of different
I know
attack schemes you're throwing out there.
Maybe a little bit too ambitious going into the season, because you see it everywhere. No matter where you go, it takes time to create that chemistry between the players, get to know the individual skills and the details. How do Alex Dixon react when things are not going with him? How is he reacting when things are going with him? How do we play off him? And you know, they're getting to know each other. And now we've been together for a long time, and I think you see things are coming more and more together.
It's the beauty of any long season, though, isn't it?
Yes.
See how you can just
exactly
meld the chemistry of the team.
Exactly, but the last 2 seasons we didn't make those many changes in the roster. But we made that decision early on, and I don't regret it at all what we did. I think it was the right thing to do, but I'm pleased with what I've seen over the last 2 months. You know, it's coming together for us now. And as I said before, the guys are getting to know each other more in details now.
How has weather affected the team? Does weather, in summer I guess could go 2 ways, and we've had kind of a cooler summer, yet it's been rainy. Typically you would think it'd be dry and hot in August in Oklahoma. Has that had any effect? Does that have any effect on how a soccer team performs?
I think when you see, let's see here in Oklahoma, kickoff time 95, the tempo, the pace of the game is lower than if we play in Seattle and it's 68 and rainy. You'll see the difference. You know, when it rains and it's a little bit cooler in the air, you know, you're a lot more explosive. You have a lot more energy. You don't get tired the same way. And also with the recovery time after a game, you know, in the heat here, it feels like it takes a little longer to recover. But that's absolutely zero excuses from us. I don't remember I've ever used that excuse. You know, sometimes I'm digging deep in the bag to find excuses, but I've not used that one yet.
Well, I just think of there's so many events this summer that have been randomly canceled in Oklahoma City because of rain, and perhaps that affects, you know, you guys play outdoors. Maybe there's some of that too.
Me as a player, I'm a big fan of rain.
Really? Even as a goalkeeper, you like that?
As a goalkeeper, I've always been a big fan of rain. But I completely understand too, you know, with the stadium we have, with no roof over, it's more comfortable with a little cloudy, around the 80s. But, you know, we have a few games here in the fall, and we'll see. Normally it's a beautiful fall here in Oklahoma.
All right, beautiful stuff. This Saturday, Taft Stadium, 7:30 p.m. The first 2,000 people get free T-shirts. The kids eat free. We mentioned this last week. Coaches apparently are not eating free, but the kids are going to eat free.
Yes, bring your family out there, bring your kids out there. We need all the support we can.
Again, the match is against San Antonio, 7:30 p.m. Saturday, the kickoff at Taft Stadium. Question for you. The eclipse is coming up Monday. What will you be doing? Will you be watching, and are your players doing anything special for the eclipse? Are you a superstitious person, maybe?
It's some weird stuff I'm very superstitious with.
Well, you know, I got to ask you, such as?
Yeah, listen, when I played, I did the most weird things, had my routines. If we played in New England and the past game, I had a good game, I had to sit the same spot. I had the same wear. I put my cleats on, my shin guards, my routines during the week leading up to a game as well.
Same clam chowder, maybe?
Yeah, but it wasn't that crazy that if it didn't happen, I couldn't do it for some reasons that I got out of my comfort zone.
Gotcha.
But I was trying to have good routines on the field, off the field. You know, one thing I always made sure I was prepared. Always prepared. You know,
routines and systems are a good thing.
Absolutely, and try to get consistent with your stuff.
All right, good stuff. The Energy FC back in action this Saturday, Taft Stadium, 7:30 p.m. Jimmy, Coach, appreciate it always.
My pleasure.
Best of luck Saturday.
Thank you.